Welcome everyone to the Barely Friends pod. Oh, thanks, everyone. Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. Thank you, guys. My name's Isaiah,
My name's Eric.
and we are on season 3 of the Barely Friends podcast. We're gonna introduce ourselves a little bit. If you're new to the program, thank you for joining us. But in a nutshell, Barely Friends is us two talking about sports, good friends, mainly Celtics. We're mainly a Celtics podcast. We'll talk a little bit of Patriots. We'll talk a little bit about entertainment, the worldwide entertainment, so to
A
speak.
little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, but we're primarily a Celtics podcast for the Celtics fans. Yeah, we're gonna just introduce ourselves a little bit here. Eric, tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you want us to tell, in this first episode?
So for those who are tuning in for the first time, season 3, my name's Eric Santos. I'm a co-host of the Bailey Friends podcast, and I'm also a contributor for the Philadelphia 76ers Sports Illustrated Network site. Those are my 2 top basketball sites I contribute to. And I'm also a musical artist in my free time. I've written 4 albums. I've actually had 7 #1 albums in Portugal.
Wow.
Which I found out was record-breaking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Yep, so I actually passed Ed Sheeran in, I think, July for the most #1 albums in Portugal, so it's pretty cool.
Wow, that's sweet.
And I've also charted in 35 different countries, so just really enjoy having my music out there for the world to consume. And I think that music's a global culture. And I'm also an educator, so I got to give a shout out to the New Bedford Light for recently profiling me and writing an article about my happenings. So I just want to give them a shout out as well.
Yeah.
That's a little bit about me.
Sweet. Awesome. Thanks, Eric. As for me, my name's Isaiah. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in geology at Brown University. And right now, I am not using that degree specifically. I am a GIS specialist. GIS stands for Geographic Information Systems. So anything with mapping and data, I'm all about it. And I'm gonna be there for a year after December. So I think 9, 10 months I've been there, which has been really great. So love sports, love talking about them, and that's what we're gonna do on this podcast.
And class valedictorian.
And okay, all right. Thank you. Trying to be humble here. No, I was valedictorian. A lot of good memories at Charter. A lot of not so much memories, but they were good ones. Why do we podcast? Why are we talking about Celtics? We just love sports. We kind of just had an idea that we wanted to start a podcast some way somehow, and shout out to the New Bedford community to letting us use their equipment and their podcasts and stuff. So we appreciate that for sure. We love talking sports. That's pretty much it.
It's almost like a community service.
For sure. Oh yeah. We're giving back. Yeah, for sure. And then we just want to do one fun fact. I'll go first. And if you didn't watch last season, tune in to I forget one of the episodes specifically. It was with our guest Ty and Spencer, my brother and a close friend of mine. And I was an extra in Hocus Pocus 2. Some may not believe that, but it's true. I should have brought my receipts with me, but I did not. But I was an extra in Hocus Pocus 2.
So you'd say you're a Disney star?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
There's all stars and then there's stars. I sure we'll say a star.
You're in the
Sure.
DCU.
I'm in the universe some way somehow.
Yeah.
Of all that.
So I actually wanted to ask you more about your appearance.
Okay.
And the reason why I actually didn't tell you before this recording, but last week, and I'm keeping it kind of confidential because I can't give out too much information.
Sure.
But there's rumors that Mark Wahlberg's filming a movie in Boston.
Whoa. Okay.
And the rumors are that's about basketball.
Okay.
So the rumors are that it's a movie about a father and a son who are venturing around the country.
Yep.
And the father's trying to help his son pick out a basketball team to take on as his favorite team.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a bonding movie, father and son. And they're filming in Boston, Chicago, Philadelphia. So just all around the area.
Yep.
And I was actually offered a role as a person in the audience of the basketball games.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So unfortunately, due to schedule constrictions, I didn't take the role.
Okay.
So yeah, that you know, but I'm sure the movie's gonna come out really good.
Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. If it's Mom Wahlberg, I mean, he's a local legend, pretty much.
Yeah,
So
but I was curious because I didn't get a chance to be on the set. What's it like being an extra in a movie?
that's a great question. In short, for me, it was 4 days. It was filming from 6 p.m. to about 3 a.m. most days. Yeah, yeah, a little bit of switch up. You got paid, which is nice, a little something on the side. But it was cool. I don't know if I would do that time slot again. That was kind of tough. But was able to, get out of work at my previous job and was able to, do that. And so, I was never in filming at all. Everyone else had been doing like extra work and stuff with other films. So learning a lot and yeah, I mean, I met the three witches. They were right there, so that was pretty cool. So cool experience. I would do it again if it were in my time slot, if it worked for me in my schedule right now. But yeah, pretty cool. I would do it again.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. If you had a choice, like, what's a movie that you'd want to be an extra in?
Oh, that's good. Well, I think it'd be fun to be in an animated film. Um, I can't think of one right now off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of ones that have like trilogies and stuff. But like just to be like a voice actor essentially, I feel like I'd be pretty good at that rather than a full on actor. I would think so. But there's any Marvel movies out there,
Yeah,
coming up that need, Avengers Doomsday. If there needs to be if there's Tony Stark's sidekick, and Doctor Doom, if they need that, I'll be that. But I can't really think of one on top of my head at this moment.
yeah, I'd say the Marvel universe is a pretty safe bet.
Sure.
Lots of really great films. Honestly, they've been going down in quality recently, but overall, they've been just really great blockbusters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if not, maybe something like Star Wars or another classic film series like that.
Sure.
I'm sure it's
Sure.
very like intricate and like you could be like a stormtrooper, or you could like basically have like a lightsaber.
Did you
Or
say stormtrooper so they didn't see my face? Is that why? Is that why you said stormtrooper?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. So, quick side note: did you see Fantastic Four? Did you watch that movie?
I did. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I think Marvel should be resurrected after that. If they can get that film, I thought that was a really good film. If you didn't watch it, watch it. And then I don't know what's going to be next. Oh, maybe Spider Man is next. I think that should be good. So I think we're
I'll
getting
be one of the
back.
Spider Mans. Like I'll
Yeah.
be in the Spider.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. There'll be like 100, like the pointing ones, like the memes.
Yeah,
That one should be really good. That one should be really good.
yeah.
So, um, sweet. Yeah. All right. What's your fun fact?
Oh yes. So as I mentioned, I am a musical artist in my free time. I've written different songs, and I mentioned this like in every single interview I do. But my favorite artist is Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, Mr. Sheeran himself.
So I've mentioned him so many times, and fortunately, I've actually been able to like communicate back and forth on social media a couple times, and it's gotten to a point that for his new album Play, which came out last month,
Yep.
he actually sent me a package in the mail.
Okay.
Yep, and it's a special edition Play speaker. So I don't have a picture on me right now, but it's a speaker like a Walkman.
Yep.
It's pink. The cover of his album it has a Play symbol on it,
Yep.
and it came with a card. And if you scan the card, it has a preview of his album before it came out.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's pretty sweet. I think did you post on Facebook?
I
Oh
did,
yeah, I
yeah.
was gonna say I thought I saw it on Facebook. Yep.
But
Yep.
that was like I wasn't expecting that, so that was crazy.
Sure. Sure.
Like I just got my package one day, and next thing I know, it's from Ed Sheeran. So
Yeah. It's not even Christmas, man. What are you doing throwing gifts out here?
so I got to give a shout out to my songwriting goat, and hopefully one day we could collaborate or just kind of chill out, talk, or watch a Celtics game.
For sure.
But we have a third seat over here.
Yes, Ed. Ed, we can bring back guests. We can bring back guests. You want to be the first one? It's right here. It's right for your head, okay? It's for you for the taking. That's pretty cool, man. I know you and Ed had talked on social media as well at times. So you and him have a pretty good rapport, I'd say. So.
I'd say we're barely friends.
Oh, I see what you did. I see what you did. That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
All right, you want to get into the meat of our content here?
sounds good.
All right, let's do it. We are going to start off with some breaking and off-season news. We usually start off with breaking news, but since we haven't really posted anything for the off-season, we have some off-season news too. Really big news at the NBA. If you're a sports fan at all, even if it's not basketball, I'm sure you've heard about the gambling situation, the gambling scandals that have happened from the FBI. There's 30 plus people in the findings right now. I'm sure there's going to be more, not just in the NBA, but in football and baseball and all these other sports. The main people that have been outed so far have been Chauncey Billups, the former coach of Portland Trailblazers. He's no longer there anymore. Terry Rozier, who's on the Heat, no longer there anymore, and Damon Jones, who used to be a player assistant coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I've been listening to sports radio a ton, whether it's from Boston radio or even New York radio. Why New York radio? It's because mainly the Giants and the Jets both suck. So I wanted to hear what they had to say about them. But it's come up everywhere in any sports channel. It's been coming up. So Eric, I guess your first thoughts. What have you made up from this gambling issue? And do you think it'll be, is this just the start, or do you think this is going to be kind of the end of it?
I definitely don't think I don't think there's a reason that this should be prominent in sports. I believe that they have promoted it a lot with the Bet MGM and DraftKings and every single ESPN show and other shows. You see this like betting line at the end of the screen. So in a way, they have enabled it a lot. And if you're a coach or a player, you really should not succumb to it. But it is very tempting to see like, hey, I could tell my player I could just miss a couple free throws, or I can just let them steal the ball a couple times and make a couple extra $100,000. So there's no way for this in sports. I think it ruins the game, but it has been going on for a long time in other sports, and I just think that it's wrong. But I think that the line of it goes a lot deeper than just these three or four guys. I think it's a big issue.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think a couple things. I think one, it's definitely not going to be just these three, just the 30. It's going to be a huge thing. I think, it seems to be targeted at the NBA right now. So there's probably going to be NBA players, more and more NBA players coming out of this. And then I'm sure it'll start to spread after that. But like you said, there's all these commercials with FanDuel, DraftKings, ESPN Bet. Like
Yeah.
they just had their own thing, right? I mean, it's right there for the taking. I mean, these specifically seems more, I guess, dangerous because they were dealing with the mob and they were dealing with illegal betting, straight up. So it wasn't just like they were betting on their own sports, and that it went a lot deeper. Nonetheless, I think having it promoted all the time and having it be this big thing is a problem. Shouldn't happen with these athletes because they coaches are telling them not to do it. I'm sure GMs and whatever, like that's like a big no because obviously like something like this could happen. And the big thing I think people are most worried about is how it'll affect college sports, people in college, because they're allowing college athletes to gamble. And I think they like the NCAA just released some sort of legislation, like they can bet, not in their own sports, or I forget what 100% it is. But nonetheless, it could be a huge problem in college. So this is just the start, just the beginning. Does not look great on the NBA because right now it's just NBA players and coaches. But hopefully, this is a huge signal to be like, hey, let's maybe not do this, and maybe because the other thing too is like fans watching sports now are gonna think, oh, there's something going on. My play, like for example, I'm not saying this is the case with this athlete, but with Joel Embiid, right? Like with these injuries, and he's like coming out, like someone could be telling someone like with Damon Jones, that was the whole thing with LeBron James. Someone could be telling, so and so's friend, hey, Joel Embiid is not playing. And then you could have a bet like, is he going to start or not, for instance, plus 200 or whatever. So that could be, again, that's just that nothing's happened with Joel Embiid. I
Yeah.
have no insight. But this whole, it could spiral. It could spiral really quickly.
Yeah, and also you look at places like the NFL where there've been a lot of like controversial flags being thrown and possible games being rigged.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying the league is doing that, but it has been talked about that different leagues have tried to have certain teams win, especially a market like the Chiefs where they have Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes, where the team might not be as good performers, but we've seen like those controversial calls going their way.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's just like thing to think about.
Yep, there was an NFC Championship game not too long ago, Rams Saints, where there was a Rams cornerback clearly hitting a Saints wide receiver, and no flag called, and that's like in and of itself could have been right. So it's going to be an interesting line of where does it deal with sports betting? It does not, and because it's such a big thing right now, that's going to be the story and what fans are thinking about. So hopefully it dies down quick, and hopefully this kind of story moves on, but it's so big that who knows what's going to happen. We have some off-season moves, a lot of off-season moves that we want to get to. The season has already started in the NBA. We want to get into some things that happened that we didn't have a chance to talk about on air. So let's start with here Cooper Flag as the number one pick. And again, as talking about the gambling issue, that whole thing with Trey and Luca and getting Cooper Flag, who knows? But again, Cooper as number one flag or number one pick. How basketball wise, what does that look like?
Well, he's definitely going to be a major help for the Mavericks. I think they're having him be a point guard type of role right now.
I agree. Yep. Yeah. I think.
Myself personally, I don't really see him taking on that role. I think that in the game of the NBA, it's a lot harder to get a really reliable center or forward than it is to get a really good point guard. So I think he's being underutilized already. So I would shift him over to be more of a big kind of role. But I know we're gonna talk about him later too, but I'm really high on VJ Edgecombe.
Yep.
And so I know Cooper Flag's number one pick, but in my heart, VJ Edgecombe, even more valuable, even better player. I think he's gonna be a superstar in the future.
Yeah, I think because the Mavericks right now have Kyrie Irving, right? Anthony Davis. Who's the other? They have another oldie that
Yeah.
used to be a star. I'm blanking out right now. But anyway, they have like a lot of like guys who are past their prime on this roster. And I would see a lot of like fans chanting against what's his face? The guy who traded away Luka Doncic. I forget his name.
Oh, Nico Collins, I think.
Nico.
Nico.
Not Nico Collins. That's a football player, but
Oh.
Nico is his first name. He's getting a chance of like fire Nico because the team hasn't done great so far. We're just like 4 or 5 games into the season. I'd say like let's temper our expectations. Right now, I think Cooper Flag is going to be really good. I just think he's probably really raw, a raw talent. I think they're going to have to figure out how to mesh with that roster to get Cooper Flag to be a good talent. I think there's a lot of pieces there that they're trying to fit together, but I think it's going to take time for them to build chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know we reacted to this back in February or January, whenever it was.
Yep.
But you're trying to tell me they traded Luka Doncic in his prime to a Lakers team that was almost being without superstar LeBron James, like he's close to retirement.
Yep.
And now Luka's on the Lakers and he's scoring like 40 plus points a game and doing amazing.
Yep.
And in return, the Mavericks just so happens to get the first pick in the NBA draft. So the Lakers got their future star, and the Mavericks in turn got Cooper Flag as this number one pick.
Yep.
It's just like when you look at the trade in hindsight, I think it's pretty even, to be honest. But without that context of having that number one pick, like definitely should be firing Nico over this really ridiculous move of trading away your prime guy, 25 years old, probably going to be top 3 MVP this year.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know, that he saved his job by getting that pick.
Yeah, 100%. If he didn't get that pick, it was outside the top 10. He's probably gone. Luka, the whole thing was like he's not looking at his weight, he's not in shape, and he wouldn't work with the Mavericks for whatever reason. Now all of a sudden he is working out and he is in shape for the Lakers. So what changed was that I don't know. But looking at him right now, we're going to talk about him later, but he just set a record for the Lakers. First 2 games, he had 92 points combined in the first 2 games. And I mean, he's ridiculous. Okay. He's an offensive juggernaut, top 5 in scoring. The only thing was his defense, and maybe that'll change now that he's in shape. So it's still not going to look good. You got number one pick. You got Cooper Flag. That's great. You got your future set with him, but you let go of a superstar that you don't know what Cooper Flag's going to be, right? You don't know what he's going to look like. You knew what Luka Doncic was, and you got rid of him. So, All right, what do we have next here? KD to the Rockets. That was maybe the biggest move in my opinion. With him wanting to get out of the Suns, which was a horrendous, absolutely atrocious team there. What do you think the Rockets' ceiling is now with KD?
Well, the Thunder, the Oklahoma City Thunder, right now they are, in my opinion, the Western favorite, and the Rockets went double overtime against a championship team.
Yep.
So I think that Jalen Green was a great part of the Rockets last year, but Kevin Durant, I've seen him play recently. I saw his performance in the Olympics, and I think that people are underestimating him. I think that he's still a very big contributor, and the Slim Reaper, right? He's he's just amazing. He's dragging to the paint. He still got his 3-point shot. But I think he's just really underestimated, and you put him on this Rockets team. I'm not going to say they're going to win the championship, but I think this is their best chance to get to that deep run. The Suns, it didn't work out. The Nets had too many injuries, but the Rockets, they have a good core with Alperen Sengun. You know, he's starting to get to his prime.
Yep.
They have one of the Thompson twins. He's also really good. But we have a young roster surrounding KD, a young roster that's starting to reach their prime. So I think that this is KD's best chance to get into a deep run in the West.
Yeah, I'll even go one further. I think this is his last chance. I think probably this team. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. We got to break that sound out. We got to bring that sound out. I think this is the last chance. If they underachieve with KD this year, I don't know what his con. I think no. I think they just extended him to like a 2-year deal.
Yeah, 2 years. I think.
So he's going to be 3 years. Let's say after the 3 years, they don't win a chip. I don't think he may want to move on from the Rockets. I don't think he should. I think this should be his last go around, and maybe if he wants to win, obviously he's going to keep trying and try to find the right team, right mesh. But we had the Nets experiment, awful. We had the Suns experiment, awful. Like, I feel like this is it. We don't have like a big trio here. This is like KD's team now. Sagoon, Amon Thompson, is that what
Yeah,
it
I
is?
think it's him.
You've got good pieces around you. The West is loaded still. The West is still loaded. But you're KD and you feel like you're elite. You should make it far. Really, right now, you should make it far this year in the West, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I will say one thing with the Rockets is I think they put themselves in a position where if KD does not work out,
Yep.
they still got Thompson, they still got Sengun. I can't think of their other player they have who's like relatively young, but it's still a pretty young core. So kind of the thing that the Sixers are doing, where they have Tyrese Maxey, Edgecombe, Quentin Grimes, are all like guys in their early 20s, mid 20s.
Yep.
If KD doesn't work out, they still got this core that is like hasn't even like started on their decline yet.
For sure.
Whereas other teams, like we just talked about, with all these old guys, like the Mavericks, yeah. Once they are all gone, like AD and Kyrie Irving, like you still have Cooper Flag, but who's surrounding Cooper Flag? It's probably all these G League players.
Right.
So-
Unless the Mavs do bad and they tank again, and then or not again, but they tank and then they get other pieces. You got to find other guys to surround them eventually.
Yeah. Well, I guess my question would be, hypothetically, if you were KD, what would be the team that you chose to sign with the intent of winning a championship?
This would be right now instead of the Rockets.
Yeah.
I think the Rockets are really good. I think that's a solid piece. If KD could have signed with the Spurs, which I think he could have potentially.
Well, I think you had to request a trade.
Oh, what do you have requested a trade?
Just like hypothetically.
Right, hypothetically. I mean, if you're with the Spurs, with Wemby, what we're already seeing right now with the guy, he's nuts. I think that would have been really good with De'Aaron Fox and the other young guys they have. So, but other than that, I mean, unless you go to the Knicks, I think if you go to the Knicks too with very weak East this year, I think that's also could have been a good option, but that never happened. So I think the Rockets are very solid here.
Yeah. And like you said, the West, we've got Rockets, Nuggets, Thunder.
Yeah.
Lakers, I would say, are like the upper mid tier right now. Warriors, upper mid tier. I don't know if it's the Timberwolves, but that's like 6 teams deep. Like that's your playoff picture, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And for the East, it could, in my opinion, be just like a battleground of anything. It could be a surprise from behind the Celtics come up. It could be the Pacers. It could be the Cavaliers, Pistons, Magic. And honestly, none of those teams, in my opinion, are really like championship level teams.
Yep.
So I think we just see a West of like really stacked talent, and then the East of
Very not so great talent.
yeah.
Very not so great. No, for sure. Let's hit these other offseason moves here really quickly. Giannis trade drama. To me, the main thing was him potentially going to the Knicks, and what they would have to give up for the Knicks. I'm not sure if there were any other places there he was planning to go to. But that made a little bit of noise because I mean, again, if Giannis goes to the Knicks, then they're a contender right there because again, the weak East. But he stays in Milwaukee this year. Also, Aiden to the Lakers. The only reason we had in our notes was just because Lakers needed a big man, and DeAndre Ayton is a big man. Former number one pick in the draft, hasn't really done anything in his NBA career so far, but he could make some noise with the Lakers this year.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Lakers, they lost AD, and in replacement of him, Ayton was on a championship reaching team with the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
So far so good. I think it's a good addition.
Yeah, and I think they have Jackson Hayes as a backup, who's a nice young player who they've had for a little bit now. So from the Pelicans, your former Pelicans, they have him there. So I think moving forward, I think they should be fine in that position, unlike the Celtics, who we'll get into later in this in this podcast. And then we have actually we're gonna get to it here, the Simons and Holiday trade. That it's not really a huge thing, but it was the biggest thing the Celtics did offseason, I would say. So far, I don't know what it looks like. I mean, with the Blazers, they're not going anywhere. They're always bad. It feels like.
I know in like Monsters Inc. they had like that like land with the Yeti, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, when I think of the Trailblazers, that's kind of what I think of.
Nice. That's good. That's good. Yeah, it is the land of nowhere. It's the land of darkness, the land of ice and cold, all the above. It's not the place to go for a basketball team. Damian Lillard's there now, but he's that's a retirement party now. He's going there to
he can't even play for a year. He's recovering.
That's right, and he's recovering. So they're done. So Simons has been fine. I even think last night he was pretty solid. Offensively had 25 plus points, something like that. But I'll get into more of that when we get to the Celtics, which actually is right around the corner, right here. The Boston Celtics. Actually, I think I want to actually change that ringtone here for them for a second here. What do I want to do? I want to. Yeah, maybe. Or this one. That's kind of was a combination. Yeah. A combination right now. I think that's kind of appropriate. I guess real quickly with their offseason vibes, we just talked about Simons and Holiday. They didn't really do much. Their team is small in size. Sometimes they've had Hauser as a power forward in their lineup. They have Neemias Queta, which is Portuguese descent, first ever Portuguese descent, which is great. New Bedford, great. Other than that, though, it's not great. Luka Garza, we acquired. Not really a center, to be honest. He's like a big power forward. He's like a feel like a Boris Diaw kind of body. Back in the day when the Spurs, I guess a good guy to set picks, which you had a great career at Charter with setting picks.
All-time leader.
That's it. Oh, for sure. No one else had picks on our team. No one else did it like you. Yeah, not really great roster wise. And then Jaylen Brown is not so far. It's very early. It's 4 games in, but he's not looking like a superstar where we paid him like a superstar, close to a Tatum contract. How do you feel about the players we have? And with the 4 games in, which we're 1-3, how do you think we're looking this year as a Celtics fan?
So I realize that we have new owners this year, but I am a little bit disappointed with Brad Stevens. And he just won Executive of the Year very recently, and he just took the Celtics team to a championship. And I think he's a really great coach and also a really great GM. So I have a lot of respect for him as a professional and as a front office person. But I just think that the Celtics really blew it with this offseason, especially with getting rid of Porzingis, Al Horford, and Holiday. And I realize that probably didn't have to happen for salary cap reasons.
Yeah.
but it's more so the fact that we have Simmons, Pritchard, and White, Derek White, and they all could be starting point guards. So there's a ton of guard depth, and they're really amazing. But I think that it's a lot harder in the NBA to get these really talented centers and power forwards, and especially with Tatum being hurt. We have Neemias Queta, who I've given a lot of praise to, but he's just not ready to be a starting center. Luka Garza also should not be a starter, and after that, you just got G League players.
Yeah.
So I think that really blew it in the sense that we should have been able to supposed to manufacture a trade in order to get this center power forward. So I personally would have tried to take Simons, and move him over for a center or a power forward in some capacity.
Yeah. You did forget someone though who was a center on our team who's not G League, and that's Xavier Tillman. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. Um, I think the fear or with the new owner, potentially we don't know this is the case, but salary cap, luxury tax, wanted to get under that, and so we got rid of all these players and only got so much in return. Um, Especially with Tatum not in, especially him out for at least the All Star break, could be further. This roster just is not complete. It's not complete. We had Pritchard, White, and Simmons start in one game, and then you had Brown, and then I don't know. I don't think you had Hauser, maybe Kata in there. That's still so small. Like I was listening to WEI radio, and they were just talking about like they are undersized in the guard position, and they are going to get overwhelmed like size wise. There's going to be mismatches everywhere. So I don't think you can start all three of those guys at the same time. Maybe two. I think you can't start Pritchard and Simons because they're small and they're not really great, reliable defensive players. I think White has to be with one of those two to work. But nonetheless, you're still so small, and you had to have Hauser in there as a starter, which isn't the great. I think he's underrated defender, but nonetheless, not. I don't want him in my starting. He's a great bench player. But now you got all these guys coming, and even Pritchard too. I feel like has not lived up to that sixth man of the year, now a starter. Expectations. He hasn't been so great. So it's it's rough right now. It's rough as Celtics fan. That's why, as you see here, I'm not wearing a Celtics. I'm wearing the green, but I'm wearing Patriots because Patriots are doing really, really good.
Oh yeah.
So we might talk about them a little bit later, but yeah, Celtics right now not so sure.
No, and I say we've been doing this for now 2 seasons,
Hmm.
and this is really the first time I think we've ever had like really negative comments about the Celtics.
Yep.
But I just think, yeah, with the off season, like there was a lot of high expectations, and like I said, I think they could have done more with the trade, Simons possibly for a big, or even someone else for a big.
Yep.
But we're just really undersized. And one of my hypothesis was that we might be tanking for AJ DeBonsta.
Yeah,
Say that
I'm
wrong.
gonna say you're right because I probably say it worse. I'm gonna say you're right. Yeah, local
But
kid from Brockton, local
yeah,
kid.
and I know he's really like he's been close with Tatum and Brown working out together, and he just seems like he'd be a good fit for the Celtics culture.
Yeah.
So we can't like force him to come to Boston. Like we can't like maneuver the pinball balls. But
Well, maybe maybe look like the Mavericks did. It looks like what I'm saying? Maybe
but if we just did a little favor someone in the league,
Yeah,
maybe we
yeah.
could get DeMonston. I think he'd be a really good fit for the Celtics.
Yeah, I agree. Here's my hot take. We I don't usually start with hot takes. This is the first episode. I don't want to start with a hot take, but I'm at a hot take. I think we should be bad. I don't want to say we should tank right now because it's too early. I say let's give it a quarter of the season and see how it goes. But I think it'll tell us a couple things. One, if Jaylen Brown is like a superstar, like we paid him. Two, if Joe Mazzulla is actually a good coach, and if he can coach this team to maybe playoff potential with Tatum back. And three, if we want to kind of not start over, but get a young piece in the draft. So I don't know if I want to see them do well or if I want to see them do bad and see what actually we really have. I don't know. Too early to decide, but just out there in the ether, throwing that out there.
I think the tough part is knowing how weak the East is, and in my mind, knowing that a healthy Celtics team should be at the top of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit frustrating to see that this team has so many missing pieces and really should be performing a lot better than they are now. So I kind of am on the bandwagon a bit that if the season isn't going so well by maybe like 20, 30 games in, then sure, maybe it is time for a quick rebuild in the sense that this draft coming up 2026, apparently there's a lot of good prospects. I
Mhm.
know Boozer, Debansa, and like one other guy who has been really highly touted. So if it's a really talented draft class, I wouldn't mind getting a lottery pick and trying back with a healthy Tatum next year.
For sure. I agree. Yeah, we're gonna obviously talk about Celtics this whole podcast. That's the main thing. Just gonna be maybe in a different light than we have done in the past. So we'll try to make it as entertaining and try to be as bright as we can. Try to give
Well,
some hope to
yeah.
Celtics
Right
fans.
now we're still in win mode.
Right now, oh yeah, hundred
We're,
percent,
we're,
hundred
we're only
percent.
4 games out of first.
Right. Yeah. The East sucks. We're fine. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
We just gotta figure some things out. Let's move on here. What else is happening in the NBA? Um, there was a Thunder Rockets preview, maybe preview of the Western Conference Finals here, where it was a 125 to 124 win for the Thunder in overtime. And I could very well see that being a Western Conference Final. It was the first game of the season for both of them. What do you think that first game looks like for both of these teams?
Well, I think that really sets the pace of what the league might look like in the sense that we've already seen the Thunder go into 2 double overtimes, and they were both against like really top competitors. So it's really just shown me that the Rockets are on par with the Thunder. Um, and right now the Thunder are still in first place in the West, so that's the team to beat.
Yep.
Um, I did notice that KD accidentally called a timeout in this first overtime, I think.
Right. I heard that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny because like the refs kind of let it go,
Right.
and I was like, ah, KD, you slide dog.
Yeah. Usually because you're a superstar, man. A superstar call. That's what happens. That's what happens when you're, when you're a superstar.
Yeah, but of course, my old team that I wrote for the Rockets, so I was rooting for the Rockets to win.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I think that they have a legitimate chance to be a Western Conference Finals matchup.
Yep.
Might happen someday.
Yep. I know they got rid of a lot of pieces in that trade for KD, but I still think they have a lot of good pieces with Sagoon, with Eamon Thompson. I think they have enough for KD to make it far. I would say that's my Western Conference Finals preview. I think we'll get into that a little later as well. But I think like Thunder, again, loaded West. So it could be Nuggets. And I don't Spurs might be better because Wemby's insane. There are all these other up and coming teams that are going to be there in the West. But Thunder are just, they're so young, deep. They're going to have the same, rapport as they did last year. So it's hard for me not to see them in it again, just because they're so good and so young and so talented. I already mentioned this, but Luca hit 92 points in his first 2 games. That was a Lakers record for the first 2 games. He's their future. He's their really, really very prominent young scorer. Their future is bright with him. But are they looking to win now with LeBron still? He's out with some sort of nerve injury, I think. He's out for some time. But are the Lakers looking to try to make a run here in the West? I'm gonna say no. I don't think they have enough right now. But who knows?
Yeah. I mean, do you think this is LeBron's last season? Do you think he has a couple more in him?
I think he probably has a couple in them. I think the question is, does he stay with the Lakers and want to win in LA? It's hard for me to see him go anywhere else at this point. With his family being out there now, his kids out there, what LA, all of the LA fame and stuff. It's hard for me to see him leave. But I mean, if he still wants to win a chip, I just don't think it's in LA. And maybe you go to Cleveland. But I don't at this point. I don't think there's any chance that he does that. I think it's the only team you go to if you're LeBron if you want to win. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it before, but it's mostly if you look at the Western Conference, there are just so many talented teams that even if the Lakers are a good team, they have so much competition to even get to the finals or conference finals.
Yeah.
So I mean, I am like subconsciously kind of rooting for LeBron, but I also have like a realistic view of knowing that I think he's 40 now, 40 years old.
Yeah, old. He's old.
Yeah, but Luka Doncic, 25, 26, prime. Like I said, probably going to be top 3 MVP. So that's really the future of the franchise, and they're set for, in my opinion, at least 5 years.
Oh yeah,
So
at least.
that's a team to watch as well as like the Spurs.
Absolutely. Yeah, Luca is going to be huge for them, and if they can get another, young star, another young piece, later on, imagine a Wemby, Luca, Lakers later down the road, hey, hear me out first. If that happens in the future, that's on me. Okay, imagine that. That would be insane. That would be a huge dynamic duo, and they would be scary in the league. All right, let's switch up a little here, sports wise. We can talk a little football here again. Patriots here. I'm wearing my Brady jersey. All you haters, I'm still wearing Brady jerseys. Okay, Brady's still the goat. And he's out there. He's out there being an analyst for Fox, and also being the I don't know if you heard about this, but he's also the minority for the Raiders. But there was some like controversy, like when you are an analyst for Fox, you get all this information about both teams. And so he would get like, all this information, and then he would go back to the booth and he could like share whatever he wants to the team, to the Raiders, and even though the Raiders suck. But like he could share, whatever to the Raiders, and like and no one would know because no one would no one has really made a big deal of it. Like it was in the news, and then it's kind of left. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big. If you get intel sheets on the other teams, I mean, like you said, the Raiders aren't the best team this year.
Right.
But if they were a better team, I would say that you'd probably hear bigger news about it.
That's true. They probably get in trouble and probably investigate Brady, and there's gonna be another gate for him, and who knows what. But let's talk about the Patriots right here. Drake May. Drake May is something special. Can we give applause to Drake May? All right, all right. The Patriots are 6-2 right now. He is in the MVP conversation. In a lot of the news sites and stuff. Mike Vrabel, coach of the New England Patriots, is doing a fantastic job. Josh McDaniels doing a fantastic job. Defense is sometimes gets off to a slow start, but they're still holding on to their own, and doing a good job there. So I mean, I'm loving this team. This is a fun team to watch. My ceiling was playoffs, and they should absolutely make the playoffs now with their schedule. And now the question is, are they Super Bowl contenders? Eric, I give that to you.
It's very interesting. So right now, and I know the NFL things change very quickly, but right now they're actually favored number 4 to go to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think, behind the Chiefs, Eagles, and like one other team. I think the 49ers, something like that.
Yeah.
But this team, Drake May and Stephon Diggs, I think are a lethal combo. I've seen like a ton of like impossible catches made by Diggs, and also really good catches by the other receivers too. But I'm just a big fan of May, and I'm also a big fan of Diggs, regardless of what's happening in his personal life. Yeah, a lot of baby drama. Not gonna get into it. But they're both really great players, and I think that people are underestimating Patriots. The other thing too is I also recognize they have a pretty easy schedule. So that's a factor to consider. I know that for the power rankings like ESPN, top 10 Patriots weren't even mentioned. And I think it's because of that schedule against like we just played the Browns, I think recently the Panthers. So just like a bunch of teams that are really not the best quality right now. But we beat the Bills, and I think that we have the capacity to beat these other top teams too.
Yeah, I think that's our best quality win, the Bills, like as you said. The next opponent that's going to be big is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're playing them in 2 weeks, so that's going to be a huge test for us. If we can win, I think we go at Tampa. I could be wrong, but I think we go at Tampa. If we go in there and win, I feel really confident that they could be because the AFC is we're talking about the basketball. We're talking about the West being loaded and the East not so. I think the NFC is more loaded this year than the AFC, and you've got I mean, the most dangerous teams in the AFC right now are the Broncos and the Chiefs. We have to, they've been kind of mediocre, but even though they look like mediocre at times, you're always scared of them if they have a over a 500 record. Denver's got a really solid defense, so they're going to be dangerous. Bo Nix, your dad's Bo Nix, is played solid. I think he's up and down. I think Drake May is much better than Bo Nix, but Bo Nix is solid enough to get them over the hump. I think we're right there with those two teams, and I don't want to say we're Super Bowl contenders quite yet. I think we need a few more pieces, running back, maybe like we wouldn't get Myles Garrett, but like a Myles Garrett, some sort of defensive end that could disrupt the quarterback, because we don't get any pressure on the quarterback right now. We could make some noise, but I think I would say we could win the division. I think we could be the AFC East champions over the Bills with beating them the first time. I think we could beat them again. And I think with our easy schedule, I think we could get a better record than them. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
But yeah, like you said, I think that the Buccaneers are gonna be their first challenge since that Bills week. Like if they beat the Buccaneers, like you said, like that's gonna be it. Like they're a legitimate team. They're real contenders. If they do lose, we'll see like what the scores look like and what happened during the game. But
yeah,
that'll be like their second litmus test. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Now in fantasy football news, it's actually interesting. I didn't even realize this. Uh, so myself, Eric, a lot of our friends, family, some of our family, um, we do fantasy football every year. I'm usually the commissioner. I would say I'm a humble. I don't cheat the league in any way, shape, or form. I would say I'm a good commissioner.
No shady bets.
No shady bets. No. I think I do a good job. Although I am the only one who can accept trades. It's not like a league vote. But in any case, here are the rankings from some of the peeps we have here. Eric is in 7th, and the top 6 are in the playoffs. So Eric's in 7th. Ty, my brother, is in 8th. I'm in 9th, and my dad is in 12th. So my dad's not going anywhere, unfortunately. But he did get his first win against me, which that hurt. That one hurt a lot. I had like literally none of my starters. They were all in a bye week. So that was unfortunate. But myself, you, and Ty are looking for that last spot in that playoffs right now, and there's 6 games left in the season. It's gonna be very interesting. I don't know what our schedules look like. I don't think I played you yet. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think I played you yet. So, and the guy who's in 6th right now is not really playing anymore. So that's open. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Us 3. I think only one of us is probably gonna get a spot in because I think everyone else has a good record. So I think there's gonna be one spot to be in, and I guess may the best man win.
Yep.
I guess. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's an update. We'll update every so often on the podcast here and see how everything's going. But so far it's tight right now between Barely Friends. Tight right now. Yeah.
And I know that historically, I think your dad's he's won the league before.
Oh yeah.
So this is kind of a shocking season, I think.
Yep.
And then your brother Ty's usually like up there as well. And then me and you usually like we fluctuate.
Right.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the next couple weeks.
For sure. Usually, we call ourselves, my family, the Spencer's regime, myself, my brother, and my dad. We usually all 3 of us make the playoffs. This year, maybe none of us get in the playoffs. And the last few years, the same 2 people, my dad and my other friend, would get in the championship. Neither of them are probably going to get in, so it's going to be a whole new league, whole new app. We use Sleeper app. Shameless plug. We use a Sleeper app instead of Yahoo Fantasy. And maybe that's why. It's we're changing a lot. So there you have it. All right, moving on. We have a segment in Barely Friends called "What in the World," where we just share something that's kind of off, kind of odd, something that's interesting to us, and it could be whatever. It could be sports. It could be just entertainment. It could be New Bedford news. I don't know, whatever, something out there. But we have stories for you. Eric, do you mind kicking us off?
Sounds good. All right, so this was earlier this month. Now, Taylor Swift, I'm not going to argue against it. I think she's one of the biggest songwriters in the planet. She's the 21st century female GOAT of all time for her music genre. So, Taylor Swift released the Life of a Showgirl album at the beginning of the month. And this was supposed to be her highly anticipated pop album. In the past, she's put out different acoustic works with her Tortured Poet album, like a lot of more light, somber tracks. And now with this new work, this was her intent of being like a really big pop album, like Reputation or like her younger works, just things that have this like really pop, bright, catchy feel to it. So she worked with Max Martin, who's a really big pop producer, and another really prominent guy as well. So there are really high expectations for this album, and I'll tell you some of the reviews.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So, Shad D'Souza from the New York Times wrote that she felt Taylor Swift, her latest work hadn't been universally praised or invariably defended by her loyal fans. So I remember seeing this in real time, but I went on social media, and I found it really hard to find any kind of positive remarks about this new album.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of people on X saying that it was like not her best quality stuff. And this was coming from like legitimate Taylor Swift fans. They were admitting like this probably wasn't the best it could be.
Yep.
So I'm kind of in that bandwagon as well. I know that some highlights were her song "Fate of Ophelia." That's the one that's really been pushed as like the #1 single, and also her song "Wood" by it's inspired by Travis Kelce. So I just want to get your initial thoughts on the album.
Yeah. So first off, I'm not really, I don't think I'm qualified to talk about any musical albums, because I'm not like you. I'm not like someone who's putting out music or has that ear. I did listen to the first three songs, "Fate of Ophelia," uh, "Opalite," "Opalite,"
Ophelia?
Not Ophelia. I think it was his third song or
Oh,
album,
Opalite. I think you're right.
Opalite, and then
Yeah.
there was this other one, and then I listened to Wood because it just had Travis Kelce, so I had to listen to it. I wasn't a fan of that one, to be honest. But anyway, I like "Fate of Ophelia." I like that song, as is. Shout out actually to my girlfriend Alicia. She's the one who actually got shout out to Alicia. She was the one who introduced me to that song. Because I don't really listen to the radio anymore.
Yeah.
She introduced me to that song. And I was like, oh, it's kind of bopping. And then I listened to it when you talked about it. I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good. And the other ones were fine. I don't know. I don't think I can judge the whole album based on those four songs. I'm just probably gonna jump on the bandwagon and say, yeah, it's probably not her best. If those same people are talking about her other albums, I'm gonna go with the crowd here. So
Yeah. And I'm not saying that it's a horrible album. I'm saying that it's a
I'm saying
mid-tier
mine is
range.
better. I'm saying mine is better. See the 7 albums in Portugal.
Yeah. So I think it's a decent album, but I just think back to the early 2010s where she had songs like "Shake It Off," "Style,"
Yes.
"Bad Blood." So
Yes.
there's like a lot of bangers,
Yes.
and I feel like we're missing a lot of bangers on this new album.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an oldie Taylor Swift, so I'm going way back to like what is it?
Love
Story,
Story.
Love Story. Shoot, I should have like looked up all the albums that like the song. But like all of her old stuff, I like that more than her modern stuff. But yeah, I mean, if the crowds are screaming, this is bad, it's probably bad comparatively, to her other stuff. But I'm sure it's still solid to a degree.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
most critics have given it like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
So it's like I said, it's not horrible. It has some. I actually like Fates of Ophelia too. It's a pretty
Yeah.
good song.
Yeah.
But it's just that when you look at the whole scope of the album, a lot of it kind of feels like mall music. Which I mean, some of her songs are mall music, but it's just not the best stuff in her discography.
Yeah.
Like she's done really amazing stuff, and I'm holding her to this very high standard. Being who she is. So I just want to see better.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say is it does kind of sound like it's almost like the same style with like your typical summer song now in general. Like it doesn't feel like it's her own thing. Kind of feels like it's what everyone else is doing. That's kind of the one thing I thought. Again, I have no expertise, so I have no idea. But that's the one thing I would say.
Yeah. Oh, and then
Yes.
my question for you, the prediction.
Yes.
So obviously with all the Travis and Taylor drama going on,
Yeah. I think you
um,
should put a ring on it. You know what I'm saying?
what do you think's gonna happen like the next 2 years, like musically or life wise or football wise?
Well, Travis is probably going to retire soon. I would say he's been in the league for so long. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He doesn't really need to play anymore unless Patrick Mahomes wants him to, and then he'll probably. But he's not. He's retiring chief. He's gonna be an all time great. Not as great as Gronk, but here this is not here nor there. Um, I mean, hopefully it's good between them both. Hopefully there's not an album later in the future that talks about their divorce or something. I'm not trying to speak it into the future. I'm just saying, a lot of Taylor Swift's success has been about breakups, and this would be the biggest breakup in the world. She would get huge. I'm sure hate, but also love, because every time she breaks up with the guy, it's always the guy, right? It's always the guy's fault, but anyway, I think I'll say, he's the one. When I listen to Wood, it seems like that they're compatible with each other. So congrats to them. I hope their marriage does go well. All jokes aside, I hope their marriage does go well. And I hope they have good football babies down the road, if that's the way they want to go.
Yeah, I mean hypothetically, if they were to have like a child together.
Mhm.
Like you'd imagine that they have the option to either be like a songwriter or a football player or both.
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Could be both, and that'd be crazy. They'd be traveling the world, doing tours, and then playing football on the side. You know,
Yeah, they'd be
why not?
unstoppable.
Why not?
Yeah.
That would be an insane combination. Um, you watching the World Series, man? I just gotta give you a pat back here. Yeah, as a Yankees fan, I mean, you beat the Red Sox, which is good, but then you guys got blown up by the Jays. But World Series here. But did you see it last night at all? I didn't. But
I got highlights. That was it.
yeah, yeah. So Otani is, first of all, he's. I was here listening to Boston radio, and they were saying that he's the greatest athlete of all time already, which I'm sure can absolutely be debated. But he is like, he can do everything, like literally can do everything in baseball, and he can do it at the highest level. So that's one thing. But they went 18 innings last night, Dodgers and the Blue Jays. And I don't know who stayed up to watch that on the East Coast. I know on the
Wait, how many innings?
18.
Oh.
Yeah, 18 innings. They played
No, I
18
did
innings.
not watch that.
So they did an extra 9 innings. And Freddie Freeman hit a walk-off home run to finish that game off. But I mean, yeah, 18 innings. I would never watch it probably after the 10th or 11th. If it's going on, I'm all set. But what a game, what a series. Dodgers are up 2-1. It's anyone's series right now. Feels like Dodgers have, excuse me, momentum. Otani's going to pitch next game. But it's looking very fascinating right now in the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I want to say it or not say it, I think that the Dodgers are likely to win the series,
Yeah.
and I think that they're the better team. I think the Blue Jays had a better record, but it's just you look at Otani, who is already being talked about as the greatest athlete, and Mookie Betts and other great players on the Dodgers.
Yep.
Like I just think that overall, like that's the team that should be the champions. I think when we look back in history, like who was the best team this year, 2024, 2025, 2026, I think it should say the Dodgers because they're the best team.
And it's funny, they were the fourth seed in the West. I think I saw. I mean, you've got the best players in the league. You should be there at the top. Winning it every year, or at least in the championship or in the NLCS. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I hate to see the Dodgers win it again. But they should. They have the best player in the world, and yeah, hopefully the Jays can make a underdog comeback. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Last but not least, we're gonna enter into some questions here for each other. This is based on the Ringer, which is Bleacher Report, I believe, right?
Two different sites, but
Oh,
they're
different sites.
different vibes.
Okay.
Some,
Yeah, yeah. But we have some questions from there for each other, for the both of us, about the NBA, and what we're looking forward to this season. So, Eric, I'll start with you. Which player are you most excited to watch this season?
So I owe him a big apology.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What do you mean apology? You say you owe someone an apology?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Zion Williamson, I owe you an apology.
Oh, yes, yes.
So I wrote for the New Orleans Pelicans last season, and admittedly, the team was not great. And I also had a lot of criticism for Zion Williamson. And part of it is saying that he wasn't mature enough, he was out of shape. And I think that this offseason, he's worked at improving himself. He's been working out, he's been practicing. So I haven't really got a chance to check out his game just yet, but he's reaching 25 years old, which I'm pretty sure is the time where like our brains as humans start to connect things together.
Hmm.
So I just think that he has a bright future looking, forward. And I'm excited to see what he can do. I think he's really talented, and when he's on the court, I think he's literally top 10 player on the floor, like MVP level, top 10.
Yeah.
So I'm just really excited to see him play.
Yeah, I did see a crazy thing though, where Wemby blocked Zion not once but twice in the same play. I mean, again, Wemby's someone, an alien. He's an alien. I have three players, as you can see, Eric, on my notes, and I know it's supposed to be one. But I'm just gonna say why I like watching each of these players this year. Kevin Durant, mainly just to like see as how he'll fit in this Rockets team, and if they'll be an actual juggernaut in the West or if they'll plummet. And we could just say at this point, the end of Katie's career, he has just been a toxin to every team he's been on since the Nets. So which way will that go? Jokic. I love watching Jokic. He doesn't look like he can do anything based on his physique, but he can do everything as a center. So I always love watching him. And then Wemby, I told you I wanted a jersey from Wemby. And he's already had like I think multiple 40-point games, a 40-20 point maybe rebound game. He's just amazing. He needs to have rings because he could he could be one of the greatest for sure if he goes on this route. So that's my reason for those three being why I want to watch them.
Oh yeah, all Western Conference players. So
Yeah.
it'll be
I
interesting to
mean,
see what they do.
they're stacked. West is stacked with all these loaded players. So that's going to be the case. All right. Most underrated and overrated teams.
So I know that I looked at the notes beforehand. We have a team that is shares some stuff.
I
but-
see. I see here. Yeah, I see.
So I'm going to start with the underrated. So obviously covering my 76ers for the SI network. I'm really excited to watch the Sixers team. We're off to a 3-0 start, and that's without Embiid basically. He's been on a 20-minute restriction. So you have Tyrese Maxey, who's been going off 40-plus point games. You have Quentin Grimes, who's 25 years old,
Mhm.
has really taken off a great supporting cast role in the lineup. Someone who can hit a reliable three and also is really good at ball movement. And you got VJ Edgecombe, who I think is going to really come out as rookie of the year. Debut, 34 points. He's just been really electric. Amazing energy going around with him. And that's not counting Embiid. So if you put Embiid in this lineup and have a healthy lineup going in the future,
Yeah.
I think that the Sixers have a very high ceiling and a weak East.
Yeah. I don't mind the 76ers pick there. Just watching Edgecombe against the Celtics, he torched us. He absolutely torched us. And his explosiveness, what it reminded me of a little bit? Derrick Rose. A little bit of Derrick Rose there. It was pretty cool to watch. He's a high flyer and he can shoot the ball too. He's gonna be really good. That was a huge pick for the 76ers. Makes up for the Ben Simmons and Markel Fultz picks.
Yeah, that was
for sure.
not the best.
Though that kid will make it up if he stays good. I'm going to disagree with you here. I think the Atlanta Hawks are going to be underrated. I like the Porzingis pick. Yes, he has an injury history there. But when he's been healthy, when you saw with the Celtics, helped them win a chip, and I think would help this Hawks team not win a chip. Let me pause. Not win a chip, but
Win a
just help,
second round game.
just help a team, help them be good. And they also got this kid Alexander Walker from the Timberwolves, who was really good defensively. I think he'll be a good piece there. So I think him, Walker, Trae Young is. I think he's also probably a little underrated as well. I think they'll be a solid team in a weak East. We're talking about a weak East here. Okay, I think they'll be a top 5 seed this year in the East. And then overrated, I have the Lakers. In no particular reason. I mean, you got Luka. Austin Reeves is nice. LeBron's hurt, but obviously LeBron, even though he's old, is still really good. DeAndre Ayton, I don't really respect him yet. I haven't seen enough of him to really say he's a solid center or he's even the number 1 pick. So I'm just gonna and I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm gonna just say they're overrated.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Eric, what is your NBA Finals prediction?
Yes. So I think there's a couple options, but if I were to pick just one combo, I'm saying it's going to be the Denver Nuggets in New York Knicks.
Okay.
So my logic, Nikola Jokic, I think he's been robbed of 2 MVP awards. I think he should be like a 5-time most valuable player.
Uh-huh.
And it's just the fact of voter fatigue has kept him from reaching that line. And I'm being honest, I think the Nuggets have less depth this season than they did last season. But they're still a very strong team. And I think that Jokic can come back and he can play against the best in the league. The Knicks, it's simply the fact of the Knicks being an amazing team in a really weak East, which I probably said 5 times this episode. Really weak East.
Yeah.
But I think the Knicks have a strong foundation. I know you're a big Jalen Brunson fan.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of hopping on that bandwagon. I really like Jalen Brunson too. I also really like Cat.
Yeah.
I know he's had some injury problems, but he's a really good center. And they also have a really good surrounding cast in the starting lineup too.
Yeah.
So I just have a lot of faith in the Knicks, and I saw what they did last season against the Pacers. Yeah, I'm hoping they do well, even though they're from New York.
Yeah, I don't mind that pick at all for a prediction. I can definitely see that happening. I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go Thunder, come back in the West and win that division again. I've already talked about them. They're young, super talented. SGA MVP is going to be lights out, I'm sure, again. They have the whole core, Chet Holmgren, and the crew. So I think they're gonna be up there and win again. Their defense is elite. Alex Caruso, and everyone is just really good. So I'm still with Thunder there. I'm gonna go with the Cavs. in the East. If they don't, they usually seem to be always the number one team in the East, like record wise. They always like win the East and then blow it in the playoffs. There's no excuse for them this year. They still have Mitchell, right? They still have Jared Allen. They still have Darius Garland, I believe, and they still have Evan Mobley. Like that core has been together for like feels like ages, and they're real. That's a really good core. If they're healthy, they should win the East and they should make it to the finals, no problem. I say Cleveland Cavaliers and the Thunder. All right, that's gonna tune it, man. To
Yeah.
our first episode in season 3. My name's Isaiah.
My name's Eric.
And thank you guys for tuning in. We hope to see you again. We're gonna post about a month or so. We're living busy lives. Last year, we had a little more time. We're gonna try to post as much as possible, but we'll be about a month, and we'll be on more platforms. We'll be on YouTube, and on definitely on Spotify for creators, and one other platform that I'm blanking out on. But stay tuned on our Facebook page. We'll see you soon. Have a good one, everyone, and be safe out there.
See you later. And we'll see how the Hawks do too.